Hi, welcome to Inventors Dojo. My name is Henry and I'm an inventor. First and foremost, I would like to welcome you and thank you so much for joining us today. This video assumes that you watched the introduction video. If you haven't watched it yet, please do so because it sets the tone for what we're doing here. I will put a link in the description so you can watch it. As promised, today I will be telling you how I got my prototype made. And please keep in mind that I'm trying to tell you things as I saw them at the time. I have ever since learned many new things. Well, you get the point. Once I went through the catalyst, identifying the ultimate outcome, the solution, making it real, the drawing, it was time to get a prototype made. However, I didn't know where to start. The only thing I really knew was that it had to be made out of metal. And the only reason I knew that was because the breaker bar and the socket were both made out of metal. After talking with a couple of people, they told me that I had to find a machine shop that could get this done for me. As you may recall, at the time, I really didn't know what a machine shop was. So I did some praying to Saint Google, patron saint of people who know nothing but like to sound like we do, and found quite a few machine shops in my area. Now I just had to go talk to them. Surely they would know exactly what I wanted and make it while I waited. Man. I do not possess the linguistic skill set required to express how wrong I was. Most of them half-ass listened to me and would dismiss me as soon as they get the chance. They would actually walk and talk and put their hand behind my back and just shoo me out the door while I was mid-sentence. Having the benefit of time and experience, now I know why. Machine shops work with incredible precision. They require diagrams, drawings, measurements, tolerances, and a bunch of other things which I did not have because I didn't even know they existed. But that did not dwindle my determination. I just kept talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. I knew that eventually I would find somebody that would listen. Then I went to a machine shop in Linden, New Jersey. I knocked on the door and this old timer came and opened the door and just said with a heavy accent, "What you want?" I like old timers. There's just no bullshit with them, you know what I mean? Anyway, Jesse actually took the time to listen to me and understand what I was trying to say, even though my vocabulary on the subject was incredibly limited. So he said, "Yeah, I can make it. Come back in 3 days." 2 days later, I get a call from the guy saying, "Your part is ready. Come and get it." Man, I was excited. Picked it up and of course I paid him. Now this is an interesting question. How much do you think it costs to have this done? Leave your answer in the comments. Now, I cannot explain how good it felt to have this thing in my hand. There was a sense of achievement and pride, even though I really didn't do much but have the idea. But it felt good, and that's how it feels every time you do something like this, especially when you make it yourself. Now it was time to test. As I said in the previous video, I just found an empty parking lot, parked my car, put my new lug nut in the car, put the socket in the lug nut, and it felt good. It felt right. That's the best way that I can express it. It just felt good. So I put the car in drive, lightly stepped on the gas. Now this time there is some anticipation, but there's also a little bit of fear. But as I stepped on the gas, I felt that the car was moving forward, but at the same time it was moving upwards. So it was working. I was excited. I was so excited. I was so excited that I actually just put the car in park, left the car in midair and got out so I could take pictures and videos and just see it with my own eyes. And there it was in all its glory. It was working. It worked. But I also realized that as the car moved, the weight of the car actually caused the pavement, the top part of the pavement to collapse, and it made a hole in the pavement, which obviously was a problem. But I felt like it was easy to fix. All I had to do was put some sort of flat-ish end on the breaker bar instead of the sharp-ended part of the breaker bar, and that would dissipate or distribute the weight properly and not leave holes in every piece of pavement in New Jersey. During the mental exercise, I realized that as the wheel rotated and the socket was in place, depending on the direction in which it was going, there was a possibility that the tool would actually either loosen the lug nut or break something, or maybe just thread the stud or the lug nut or both. And that was a problem that I had to fix. I knew that there was work ahead, but I was on my way. But now I had my validation. I knew it worked. Now it was just time for the next step, which was trying to get a patent for this idea, which I will cover in the next video. As a side note, or maybe side paragraph, my only regret through this process was that I did not remember the name of the guy or the name of the shop. That's until recently. I actually found the shop in Linden, New Jersey, and I got the number. So I called the guy, and I just wanted to thank him. You know, if he didn't take the time to listen and truly understand what I was trying to say, I might have gotten stuck and maybe eventually given up. So at some point on my next visit to New Jersey, I have to make sure that I go see the guy and thank him in person. I don't think he has an idea of the impact that he has had in my life. It's funny, the last thing that he said to me when we hung up was, "You made any money of it yet?" That was funny. But now I'm going to take a little time to just show you the prototype a little bit. This is actually not the one that Jesse made. This is another one that I had made at a different shop. And actually, when I had this made, it made me appreciate Jesse even more. These guys, I actually gave them the part that Jesse made that worked perfectly fine, as you guys will see in the video. Even though they had the exact things that I needed them to do, all they had to do was measure and copy the thing, they didn't do a good job. And charged me a lot more than what Jesse did. But I said I was going to show it to you, and this is actually here. I made one for a truck. So it's the exact same concept. Here's a lug nut, and right now it's in the lock position. So when I lift this up, it unlocks it. See? And then once you put it back in and lock it, then it holds on. So it would be a way to secure the tool that would allow either a truck or a car to get out of any quagmire that it's in, using the exact same concept. I actually have one here that's actually a better one, but this is 3D printed. I 3D printed this maybe 2 weeks ago. But if you look at this and imagine this being the lug nut, and this is the part that would connect to the breaker bar or whatever tool. And then once it locks in place, it won't let it go. You see? So that's the whole concept. It's incredibly simple. It's like everything else. Once you know exactly how it works, it becomes simple and not so interesting. Well, that's it for today, guys. Please watch out for the next video where I will be telling you how I got the patent for this idea and the compromises that I had to make in order to get it. Please stay tuned and please share this video with someone who you feel might enjoy it. Thank you so much and have a fantastic day. Stopping video. Oh, this is not recording. You mother. And this is gonna suck if I have to do this whole